Okay, so according to the Power Rangers fandom entry for this episode, it has been dubbed the Forbidden Episode
Oh, jeez. Okay.
on the fan forums. And again, I'm not sure how accurate this is, and maybe it was a bit of a beat up at the time, but it sounds like it was pretty. People got pretty argumentative about it. So on the fan discussion forums, apparently the fans who brought it up and complained about it were permanently banned from the forums because it was causing so much strife. And even now, apparently most message boards consider the subject off limits.
So what's the issue with it?
Well, essentially, bringing the Red Rangers back doesn't make sense, apparently.
Okay.
Because a lot of them have lost their powers, or they've retired, or in one case, they just missed the Red Ranger. He didn't come back at all. And the show doesn't, like the episode doesn't bother to really explain like anything to do with that.
Well, I was going to ask, did they get every single one? So I guess they missed one.
No, they missed one, and I'll talk about him in a second.
Well,
but,
there was an alien one that just turned up.
He just
out
popped
of nowhere.
up.
Yeah. Like, I thought that was just the one that they missed, the actor they couldn't get back, but...
No, well, I'm not sure if they was like a mini season. I'm not sure if they even ever were outside of their uniform, like all their suits for that. But yes, apparently I think all the fans were complaining because it doesn't make sense, and they were trying to like make up reasons why it did or why it didn't, and they would just get into so much arguments they couldn't agree, and then it caused so much trouble on the forums. They're just like, no, we can't talk about it anymore.
Jeez.
And I've just always found that intriguing because it's like a silly kids show and people are taking it so seriously.
Mate, when you're invested in something, you get passionate about it. Oh, I understand. I get it.
It just tickles me that there's an inaccuracies and resulting fan controversy section on this, Wikipedia page for this, or this fandom page for this show. Because the funniest part though is that the show obviously didn't care.
Oh, clearly not.
Like, just get the Red Rangers back. Should we explain it?
Nah.
Nah. But then the fans care so much. So then it's just like a perfect storm of, organized, like corporate entities not caring about this show and fans caring too much. And it's just a perfect storm. And I just think it's funny. Now, I've got some controversies and I've got them listed by headings, okay?
Okay.
You ready? Oh,
yeah.
First one is called Everyone Hates Rocky. So Rocky was the Red Ranger. He was the second Red Ranger from Mighty Morphin years, and then he was a later Blue Ranger in other seasons. And he was originally contacted, I'm told, or the internet tells me, to appear as Rocky, but apparently he moved and he changed his address and didn't tell anyone, and so they couldn't find him.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. So that just seems like a really good 2002 reason to not be able to get someone in the show. We just couldn't get his phone number. He changed addresses. We couldn't find him.
I'll say he's the one that was missed, was it?
He was missed, and no one mentions it. And it's just silly in the show because like, oh, all the Red Rangers are here, not including the one we didn't get.
They should have just done what they did with the alien one. Just throw some random guy in a suit out of nowhere.
Well,
there, you got them all. Bang.
Well, technically, he was the same Red Ranger as Jason, who turns up. The guy who turns up on the motorbike and is all cool.
Sorry, I don't know my Power Rangers lore.
But like, if you're throwing all canon and all reason out of the window anyway. You could have had two Red Rangers of the same suit type, and it wouldn't have mattered.
Or just say Rocky died.
Well, I don't have this here, but apparently one of the early concepts of the episode, one of the early drafts, Rocky was going to turn up and be Tommy's butler, which...
What?
Which, if that was true, I was Rocky, the actor playing Rocky, Steve Cardenas, I've moved. I don't want to... Sorry, I don't want to be part of this episode where I'm someone's butler when I was a Red Ranger. Like, come on.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah. Okay, here's another controversy.
Yeah?
Wes, who was the Time Force Ranger...
Sure.
At the end, he makes a reference to the Power Rangers fan club.
Yeah.
He says something like, I changed history, so why does he, meaning Tommy, have a fan club and I don't? And this is just a perfectly cutting statement from the site. This is a somewhat odd statement, as Wes did not change history, but instead altered his relative future. So, come off it, Wes.
Yeah, you little dickhead. What you doing?
Maybe you don't have a fan club because you lie about your deeds.
Yeah, little filth. I will say while we're on it, that the classic little squabble at the end about who's the best Red Ranger. Just classic stuff on it.
It's good, isn't it?
Just reminding everyone of all the good times each Red Ranger has had.
And what about the sunset they're in?
Blinding. Just destroys the colour palette of the shot. It was like a fucking Mexico scene from Breaking Bad. Yeah, it's just all yellow.
They put the Mexico filter on the camera.
Seemingly.
Well, also in that in sequence, right?
Yeah.
Eric, I can't remember which Eric. Don't know which season he's from. My bad. It doesn't matter.
I don't think anyone will be fussed.
He makes a reference to his Zord, the Q-Rex. He reckons it could eat Tommy's Dragon Zord for lunch, is what he says.
Oh.
However, once again, our fandom site says it is not known how Eric knows of the Dragon Zord, which is ironic since he does not know about Serpentera until Tommy and Jason mention it. So, Eric, are you a liar? What's going on? How do you know about the Dragon Zord, but you don't know Serpentera, which is the big Zord they're trying to destroy in this episode?
Yeah, what's with all the bloody dishonor, mate? What's with all the lying?
It is, and again, these are little things that you could probably just ask a fan or get someone on staff who knows their background just to fix these lines up, but it doesn't matter. Just throw something in.
I guess. I mean, they could just get a fan consultant, pay him $20 an hour, have the time of his life.
Well, the writer of the episode, I should say, he was a kind of elevated fan, they call him. He was running some fan forums, and then he got onto the show, and he's kind of... I'm not blaming him for this, but I'm just saying...
Oh, I will.
Okay, you blame him. That's good.
It's like fan fiction come to life.
Yeah, well, this next section is just the problem I have with Power Rangers in general.
Oh, no.
So I don't get the feeling that you or anyone listening to the show will mind if I spoil In Space. But I kind of mentioned it. At the end of that season, there's a big battle. Everyone's in peril. The world's invaded and everything's going to go to shit. Andros, who is the beautiful In Space Ranger, who has the long hair from this episode. You know the one?
The white and black hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a good guy, Andros.
Yeah, he's right.
He sacrifices Zordon, who has been the Power Rangers mentor, and he's been stuck in a tube of energy. Anyway, he's been
there, Bosley.
Yes, he's been captured by the bad guys, and Andros sacrifices him. Well, Zordon asks him to sacrifice him. He breaks open his tube, and Zordon's energy wave, as they call it, spreads out across the universe and is supposed to defeat all the evil out there. So Rita and Zed, who are the big bads from the first couple seasons, they turn into humans and they're good now, and other monsters just turn into dust, a bit like Thanos-y sort of situation.
Oh, good.
So, supposedly this energy wave has defeated all the evil, but then there are more seasons with more evil people. So, What the hell?
Evil never rests, Lonnie.
I guess so. And people, they try and make it happen. They make explanations oh, they're in different galaxies, so the wave didn't hit them. Or Rita and Zed's son turns up later. Why wasn't he defeated? But he was a baby, so baby didn't touch babies. But it's just come on, guys.
Is this Rita Repulsa? Is that
yes.
Great name. I'll say that.
Yes, and Lord Zed, and he's got his organs visible, and he's evil. That's pretty cool. Jeez. Yeah. I think the reason they did that was that, as I said, Space was supposed to be the last season. They're wrapping up everything, and then they did more. So,
Great.
Having a big ending and then having more of it kind of defeats the purpose of the ending. But,
So was this before or after Wildfall? It would have been before. Yeah.
That was, a couple of seasons before was the energy wave. So, yeah, pretty weird.
So if they didn't continue, we wouldn't have got Wild Force or
we wouldn't have had this episode of this podcast, Dylan. So,
well, you know what? It can stay around. I'll forgive it for that.
I miss you, man. I miss miss you out